Hi everyone, I'm Jess Loveland, Head of New Writing with BBC Writersroom and Drama Commissioning, and I wanted to record this little video to answer some of the questions that have been coming in since we announced the dates for our open call script submission window earlier this week. So as you may already know, Open Call is our new name for the big annual script submission window that we used to refer to as Script Room. So we will be opening the call this year on Thursday the 9th of December at 12 noon and closing it on Thursday the 13th of January, also at 12 noon. This year we will be using the open call as a means of selecting participants not just for our Drama Room programme as we have done in the past, but also for our nationwide Voices Writer development groups. So we hope to be able to select up to 100 writers annually through the open call alone from across the length and breadth of the UK. So that's it in a nutshell, but I wanted to answer some of the questions that have come in so far. Do please keep these questions coming and we'll do our best to address them all. So first question. Now that you're asking for writing CVs and questions, will the reading process still be anonymous? Yes, we will read all materials completely anonymously, as we always have done in the past, and we'll also ask that you take your name off any scripts that you submit so that you can't be identified through the reading stages. We think it's incredibly important that all materials are read anonymously, and this is an integral part of the process and the way that the Writers' Room operates and has always operated. Essentially, we want your work to speak for itself. How will you assess the answers to the questions you are asking as part of the submission? Will you look less favourably on an application from a writer who expresses no interest in writing for continuing drama? So the element of utmost importance to us at the Writers' Room is always the writing sample, and that's the part of the submission that we attach the most weight and significance to. However, since we're using the call now to select for two distinct opportunities for both Voices and Drama Room, in order to get a sense of a writer's previous writing experience and the opportunities we have that would most be of benefit to them, we'll be asking some brief questions to allow writers to talk to us about their passion for television writing and what they would hope to get from taking part in Voices or Drama Room. We think that will help us to route writers to the most useful opportunity, an appropriate opportunity for individuals. In respect of continuing drama, none of our writer development programmes focus specifically on continuing drama. We're looking for writers who are dedicated to honing their craft and empowering them to pursue careers and projects that interest and inspire them. At the end of the day, we want to work with people who are passionate about writing for television, whatever form that takes, and we want to empower people to write the sort of work that they are motivated to write. Can you provide more information on the new writer development opportunity? I think this refers to the new writers development programme that we trailed at the end of the original blog. We're presently developing a new programme which will have a tighter regional focus and will hopefully be developed in partnership with cultural organisations based within specific areas. We're still very much working on the detail of that, but we hope to be able to share more information soon, so do keep an eye on the blog and on our social media channels. Next question. As you are now part of TV Drama Commissioning, that seems to be the focus. Can I still submit a sample script for a medium other than television? Absolutely. We accept drama or comedy drama scripts written for film, TV, radio, stage, or for online, and that's including for children. Will you still open a separate window for comedy script submissions? So we won't have a window dedicated only for comedy submissions anymore, although we do accept comedy drama submissions. The reason for this is that the comedy commissioning team have set up the brilliant new Comedy Association, which is where they post details of their specific talent development opportunities for comedy writers. So do keep an eye on that and any announcements and opportunities coming out of the Comedy Association. Can I apply for this opportunity if I am based outside of the UK or the Republic of Ireland? So in order to submit, you must be resident, but you don't have to have been born in the UK or the Republic of Ireland. If selected, we ask that you must remain resident for the full duration of the programme, which is approximately 18 months from the closing date for applications. If you're currently working overseas, only consider submitting your script when you have returned to the UK or the Republic of Ireland. Is there a standard format I should use when writing my script? So we ask that you try to format your script as closely as possible to the standard industry format. We have lots and lots of example scripts on our website. There is a page dedicated to setting out the different professional mediums and formats, and there's also our brilliant script library, which has tons and tons of great scripts across many different formats that you can read, digest, and spend some time interrogating how they're formatted and presented. Will submissions to the open call be considered for the Writers' Access Group? The Writers' Access Group is our targeted development group for deaf, disabled and neurodivergent writers. It will be opening for submissions in 2022, but we won't be selecting directly for this group via the open call at the end of this year. Although if we find brilliant writers for the Writers' Access Group through the open call, as we read the scripts and submissions, we will of course keep them in mind for the group when we finalise it later in 2022. Is it best to submit something for UK TV, or is a show based internationally okay? We're looking for the best example of your writing and identifying your expertise as a writer, rather than looking for scripts we can directly produce. So where the action is based doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's the quality of the writing that we'll be on the lookout for. When do applications for voices open up? So just to clarify, we will be selecting our voices groups, our UK-wide voices groups, via open call this year. So do please make sure to submit when it opens in December if you're specifically interested in that particular programme. How do I register an account on your e-submission system? So when the open call window goes live on the 9th of December, we'll publish a link that you'll be able to follow to create an account and begin the submission process. Is there an age limit? So the only age limit for us is that you must be over 18 at the point of application. What's your contact email address? So that's a simple one. It's writersroom@bbc.co.uk, and you can get in touch with us there. What qualifies as comedy drama? So as you know, open call is open for drama and comedy drama scripts. So this is a very good question. In very basic terms, I think it's essentially a drama which blends elements of both traditional drama and comedy. Saying that, you can't just chuck a few incongruous jokes in and call it a comedy drama. I think tone plays a large part in comedy dramas, so a few examples might help to illustrate that here. So I think shows like Killing Eve, Atlanta, Russian Doll, The Flight Attendant, Shameless, Last Tango in Halifax, I think they could all be called comedy dramas. Personally, I'd also make a case for Succession being a comedy drama. It certainly makes me laugh more than most other things on TV at the moment. But I'd be really keen to know what you all think about that, so do let me know some of your favourite comedy dramas. We also have a brilliant blog post on comedy drama on the site, so do check that out if you want to read a bit more about that. Can you enter more than once? No, only one script per writer or writing partnership can be submitted for the open call. Can I send in a script I've submitted before that I've revised? The answer to that is no. We're looking specifically for new work, and we think that really works in your favour if you're submitting fresh work to the open call. Can I send in a script for an existing show, so something like Doctor Who? No, we're looking for your own original creative ideas. We want to hear your voice and your ideas. So, yeah, just fresh new ideas, please. And finally, what does the BBC define as northern? So when we talk about the north of England, we mean Cheshire, County Durham, Cumbria, Greater Manchester, Lancashire, Merseyside, Northumberland, North and North East Lincolnshire, Tyne and Wear, and Yorkshire. So, those are some of the questions that have come in recently. Do keep asking questions about the process, and do let me know if this form of answering is helpful. Have a brilliant day and speak soon. Bye.